What's this? Women don't care about men's mental health month. Interesting. 4 days ago. All right, let's check it. Let's run it. Let's run it.
Men's Mental Health Awareness Month is in 5 days, but the way y'all have been acting since last June,
I like how she's setting this up as if men's mental health month is a privilege or a luxury. It's like, have you been good the entire year? Have you earned this month? Like, what?
this month. This month is purely Pride Month,
No,
and
it's not.
especially how y'all reacted after that Deontay video.
What is she talking about? What is this woman talking about? After y'all, how y'all reacted to that Deontay video, lady, what are you talking about? What? What video are you talking about?
Men's Mental Health Month. But happy Mental Health Month to those who support their black women, who
Oh,
support
okay. I see where this video is going.
women in general. Happy Mental Health Month to y'all.
Shut up, bitch!
There you go. There you go. What is this channel? He talks to people. Kind of looks like Tupac a little bit, low key.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rome back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. And happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. For y'all that may not know, June is that month of the year. I recently discovered this, I want to say in 2023, and ironic, I was actually in Thailand for the first time when I discovered this. So
why is this ironic?
Ever since then, I've been covering it June of every year. And one of the reasons why is because it's very important to me. I know there are guys that are watching me that share similar experiences as far as what it's like to, feel like there's just no point, hopeless, rock bottom, whatever other adjective you can think of. But I just want to be that, I guess you could say, example or living proof that don't give up. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and as long as you believe in yourself and you have discipline and consistency and have a plan and execute it, bruh, and just follow it through, things will get better, man. And as long as you are making an effort to be better, you can only get better. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's get into it. I want to see.
It's Men's Mental Health Month, but there's something
Seems like a chill dude. I like the video so far. I like his vibe. So let's see what he got for Men's Mental Health Month, and let's see what these dumb people are saying about men's mental health. Fuck. Because what I'm taking away from this is that when it comes to men's mental health, the biggest concern is suicide, and I've never met any men that have struggled with that, so it's always a concern. But I hope that people are taking care of themselves and check in with your boys. Check in with your boys at least once.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
It's Men's Mental Health Month, but there's something that no one's really covering, so let's get to it. Yes, it's Men's Mental Health Month, but they are sharing that.
The title of her fucking TikTok is Men's Mental Health Month. Are you kidding me? Love it. I gotta get a haircut after this, so I'm trying to make sure I don't miss the damn bus. But I got like over an hour.
Pride Month. See, the thing is that men are so low now, and people have no respect for them that they can't.
I love how women just love to generalize everything, like generalize men on the wildest of degrees. Like, no one has respect for men. Just no one. Is that a general statement about the entire world? Did you do a survey? Because that makes no sense. No one has respect for men. You clearly do. You clearly care enough to put on this video, to put on a filter and all this shit. So you clearly care. Like, get out of here with this, man. Get out of here.
For themselves. at all. They now have to share that with pride. So we would rather celebrate a bunch of people running around the streets looking like unicorns.
But what do you say to the gay men? Like, what do you say to the gay men? Because, okay, what about the gay men celebrating Pride and Men's Mental Health Month? Then what? Then what? Though they're not allowed. You don't acknowledge. You only acknowledge half of what they go through. Because gay men still require mental health. Transgender men still require mental health. Like, I would imagine almost even to the same degree, if not more so. I don't understand her. She doesn't have any logic here. That's the problem. She literally has no logic. How are you going to celebrate Pride Month as if men are also not in that category?
Unicorns with
This
rainbows
is the
everywhere.
thing is, women like this like to separate straight and gay men as if we're two different species when we're not. We're the same. We're both men at the same. Like, we are literally both men. The only difference is our sexual preferences. That's it. That doesn't make us any different from any other person. So I hate when they because what they're doing is they're not trying to generalize men. They're trying to generalize straight men because of whatever bad experiences they had because of the poor choices that they make. And I'm like, that's on you, dog. Don't try and separate straight men from gay men and then generalize how all men aren't respected while at the same time saying that you'll only acknowledge Pride Month when gay men are a part of Pride Month. Therefore, what are you going to tell them when they say something about Men's Mental Health Month and how important it is to them? That it doesn't matter? Like, you're walking hypocrisy. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work and it won't work. You just need to acknowledge that you're a bad person.
And glitter everywhere, then we would talk about the fact that the biggest killer in men is suicide, or the fact that men are more likely to go to prison, be gang members, lose their kids in custody battles, divorces, they're going to lose them 9 times out of 10. They're losing money constantly
What
to
is she
toxic
talking about?
females, or the fact that they have the highest chances of substance misuse, becoming alcoholics, and becoming homeless. We're not going to talk about that, no, but we will talk about the fact that is Pride Month.
I just left Starbucks.
What the fuck was that? Like, what? You just rambled off all these extremely important things about why we should talk about men's mental health. And you're like, nah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to talk about Pride Month. As if the men in the Pride Month don't go through those same issues. Dumbass.
And they're about to close. And I saw this.
Wait, hold on. Let me read this caption here.
About the fact that is Pride Month.
I just left
Reposting this gem for Men's Mental Health Month. I just left Starbucks and they're about to close. All you men out there working a job with your hands and all that amazing stuff a woman can do. You're sexy. Keep working, babe. Thank you for everything you do. What?
Starbucks and they're about to close. And I saw this guy unload the truck for, I'm assuming, supplies that probably Starbucks needs. And it's just him and unloading a bunch of stuff off of the truck.
Yeah. Working.
Listen, if you're a man and you're out there working hard, hustling,
What are you doing?
I love you, okay? Because we need you, men. We need you. So awesome. Men are amazing.
Okay.
I support the men.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
Cool.
It is June 1st, so it's officially Men's Mental Health Month. Thank you to all of you for waking up today. For any men out there, I know there's been a lot of attacks, hatred, and invalidation of men's issues online under the guise of women's rights. And I know you may deal with the same issues and invalidation in your day-to-day life with people you know. I know you may have a lot on your plate right now. I know you may feel like no matter what you do, you're not good enough, or that you don't matter, or that nobody cares. But here's your friendly reminder that you do matter and you should be heard. So here's a mental health check-in. How are you doing today? How's life going in general?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Honestly, thank you for asking. No one has actually asked that question, and I appreciate that. How am I doing? I'm doing well. I'm doing all right. I think that this month is going to be pretty nice. I hope that we get some nice weather. I hope that I get to experience Death Stranding too. Overall, I'm feeling all right. A lot of good things, hopefully, but overall, I'm trying to move above and beyond any of the stresses or challenges that come my way. Because what is the point of letting that define what my days will look like, right? So that's how we're doing.
Are you able to engage in hobbies and interests that improve your mental health? Do you have people to talk to and to support you? Do you feel like the people in your life, family, friends, people you're dating or married to, genuinely care about you and don't invalidate you when you have struggles? Because you deserve that. Let me know.
I will never understand why women
A lot of
will
questions.
shit on men for showing some sort of emotion other than anger or for asking for help. But in the same breath, they'll expect a man to be emotionally mature enough to understand what they're going through, respect their feelings, be there for them in their time of need. But they won't reciprocate that for their partner. How can you ask for a partner of these things if they don't understand how to self-regulate and to express themselves and to ask for help, and that it's okay to express these things? Because if somebody doesn't know how to like self-regulate their own anger or be able to like express themselves, how do you expect them to be there for you when you're feeling those things? They don't have the compassion there.
True.
It's just like 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4 here. You know what I mean?
No.
It's definitely internalized misogyny. Definitely, 1000%. But it's like crazy how you just don't have the self-awareness to see those things. You know?
It's men.
I mean, okay. I think I understood what she said, but I kind of agree. So, yeah, I think it's a two-way street at the end of the day. If you want dudes to be one way, then you have to acknowledge that with that comes their level of vulnerability, because they can't just be vulnerable for your feelings, and then the expectation is that they internalize theirs or never show theirs. When I'm like, that's not how it works, right? Like, obviously. So if you have people who do that, then they are broken.
Awareness Month, and I always think it's crazy when I hear that women don't care, especially because men are the root of their problems. And before y'all get in the comments and jump down my throat saying like, oh, you can't say that, this and that, da 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 da, when's the last time you asked your homeboy how he was feeling? Or if he's doing okay, or if he needs anything? I've seen a lot of arguments being like, oh, women don't care about men's mental health and blase blase.
The more I hear that line of questioning too, I kind of don't like it. Like, I kind of feel like it's not a good enough line of questioning. Like, you can ask anybody how they're doing at any point in any day all the time, and it'll always be the same answer. I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm good. But that, to me, if it's men's mental health month, I feel like you have to go a step further and make that question more defined, right? Like, you have to me, it's like the goal should be to kind of not just give them the opportunity to give like a simple answer, but to really have them reflect on, are they doing okay? Like, is there something that's been on their mind that they've been struggling to get to navigate, or is there something that they're trying to overcome, or whatever? I feel like you can always ask men how they're doing. We're always gonna tell you the same thing. I think when it comes down to men's mental health, the best way to help support it is men just need to be able to be around other men and have these conversations, to evaluate themselves and each other, and remind themselves that while we're doing what we're doing, whether it's grinding, whether it's working, whether it's taking care of things, whatever it is, going through stuff, through school, whatever, that they're recognized and that they're seen as successful, even if they don't think they're there yet. Just because they are doing the best that they can to achieve whatever it is they're trying to do. And I think that's what more men need to hear, because for most people, whether it's man or woman, I think the goal is always to feel like you're being successful, or that you're doing something good, and that your life is meaningful. And so I think that's what this month should be about, is like letting them know, like, even if you don't think you're at where you want to be, uh, in my eyes and your peers' eyes or whoever's eyes, you're already there. You're already at this level that we love, respect, and care about. You don't like you. We love whatever motivation or goals that you have, but even without that, who you are is enough. And so, I think that's what the important. That's an important thing for this month. Is men being reminded that it's not about being number one, but it's just about being validated in the pursuit to reach whatever goal.
Number one, I don't think that's true because all the women I know take care of their boyfriend, their husband, their father, their friend, everyone around them. And I also don't think that's true because women talk to each other about their mental health issues and they do it fairly regularly, almost every day, if I'm being honest. You can't be incapable about talking about things amongst yourself and then wondering why people don't acknowledge it or take it seriously. I do think men's mental health is serious. But if you're a man and you can't turn to your homeboy and be like, hey, I'm going through something, I need some help, I need some advice, then you cannot bring women into it because women talk to each other all the time. The call is coming from inside the house.
Thank you, ladies. I want to give a special shout out to the ladies. That's why I wanted to let all those play, because I want men to understand that not all women think like Rasputia that y'all saw in the intro, being disrespectful and just being.
So wait, let me run it back real quick. Then is he saying that this woman at the beginning, not the woman, this woman, is she being ironic? Because if so, she's being ironic, then cool, I'll take back whatever I said, I assume. Let me see.
Get to it. Yes, it's Men's Mental Health Month, but they are sharing that with Pride Month. See, the thing is that men are so low now and people have no respect for them that they can't even have a month for themselves at all. They now have to share that with...
Okay, so I assume she's like calling people out. Never mind. All right, I take back what I said. Sorry.
Can you please explain that to me?
Oh, I didn't. This isn't what he came back in. Where did he come back in? Around there.
And to understand that not all women think like Rasputia that y'all saw in the intro, being disrespectful and just being so dismissive of men's mental health. It really saddens me. And the reason why it does is because it once again shows you that women are walking contradictions, like I've been saying on my channel for the longest. Because on one hand, they want to tell men to have empathy for women, but then y'all shit on men for having or trying to acknowledge Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. How does that make any sense to y'all?
Is this music coming from me? No.
Please explain that.
Okay, I'm tripping.
That is some of the most hypocritical shit I've ever noticed.
That's what I said. It's hypocrisy. I take back what I said about that one woman because I thought she was saying all those things, but I assume that's what she was calling people out, right? But yeah, there are people like that who are like, we won't celebrate Men's Mental Health Month, but we'll celebrate Pride Month. When I'm like, hey, you kind of can't because gay men, so it's hypocritical.
It doesn't make any damn sense. It really doesn't. And then at the same time, they shame men for not being willing to open up and shit too.
And which is even more ironic because a gay man is arguably more vulnerable and in touch with his emotions than a straight man, right? Because that's what they want, is to be able to feel vulnerable and feel that feminine side of themselves. So you can't really celebrate Pride Month without acknowledging Mental Health Month. So hey, still lose. Hey, we slammed on them, dude. We slammed on them.
But again, you shit on this. How does that make any sense, ladies?
I'm gonna subscribe.
It really does.
I fully agree. Men's mental health does matter. That said, why aren't they making it matter, right? Why is it...
What? Why aren't they making it matter? Okay, now I'm gonna go full patriarch here. Who do you think came up with this month? Men. Who do you think came up with the months that celebrate women? Men. No, probably not. Probably women's rights, right? But 90% of the holidays we came up with. So we'd make it matter. We already made it matter when we created it. Now, taking off the patriarch tone, men care about mental health, which is the entire point. This woman seems to misunderstand. It's not like, I think if if majority of men understood and recognized this month, which I don't even think, I think there's a lot less men who even know that this is a mental health awareness month, than they understand. Because if they did, then they'd be like, "Oh, this is crazy! Like, I didn't know I didn't know like a lot of dudes were dying by suicide, or I thought we were all okay, or me and my boys, we always have a good time." But now, what if I did just randomly ask while we're playing fucking Fortnite or whatever, and it turns out one of my boys is going through some hard shit at home that he didn't know he could tell us, right? Like, men care, they just don't know that this is even a month, to be honest. So because it is overclouded with Pride Month. So it's not often talked about. But I think if men knew, and, I think, let's say 1 out of every 5 groups of men who decide to check in with themselves will probably discover that one in their group is going through something. And that they, just by asking that question, help them prevent something terrible. So this woman, is going to get fucking struck with something.
Women's job to make it matter, while they're spending all of their time criticizing us and judging us for the communities and the spaces that we built to support each other and love each other and understand each other.
This woman is actually crazy. She's actually fucking psychotic. Holy shit.
While they're judging us for doing that, maybe if they created some of those spaces of their own, they wouldn't be so fucking lonely. Maybe instead of protecting and safeguarding all the money and the assets you actually don't have, maybe you could focus on protecting and safeguarding each other, but not in the boys will be boys way, but more so in the way of holding each other accountable, which I know makes you guys uncomfortable because you don't actually speak to each other, but that's a whole different conversation.
Let's be so for real. 90% of all men's struggles and problems come from women.
Facts.
Let's just start there. Let's be so for real. The reason that so many women don't actually care about men's mental health, even though they claim to care about mental health, is because it would be a reason for them to actually have to look in the mirror when 90% of all men's problems are created by women. What's actually fucked up is women will say that men need to open up and like they care about men's mental health. But guess what? The moment that a man actually does start to open up, the first thing out of her mouth is like, what did you do to deserve that? What did you do wrong? The crazy part about all of it is that y'all will...
And it's immediately like a case of like when... And here's the crazy part. It doesn't even like... It's not even something that needs to happen more than once. It only needs to happen once and a dude won't open up anymore. Like, they'll never want to open up about that topic anymore. And it's because it's like, at the end of the day, you already showed how you're going to view me in this conversation. So I'm not going to want to talk to you about it because you're already looking at it from a bias that's not even fair. So she's 100% right. Like, I've been in plenty of these situations where it's like, to me, it's not even about like men or a woman situation. It's just whoever you're talking to. If you talk to someone about something, and their initial response to you telling them something about something personal or whatever is something negative, you're never going to want to open up to them about it again because they had no intentions of safeguarding or being empathetic about the situation or even trying to understand your perspective of the situation, right? Like, their response just was not accommodating to the conversation in a healthy way. So it's like, that road can never really be going.
Sit here and say that you
can never go back.
Vulnerability, you want him to open up to you, but the moment that he does, you look at him as weak. You call him gay. How many times have women come on this app and told men that they're soft for opening up, or that men can't even like cry at their own weddings, or if they're in therapy, that means that there's something wrong with them. So regardless, when it's her fault, he still gets blamed, and when it's actually his fault, he's still going to get blamed. And you guys wonder why these men shut down. But also, men don't need to walk around being these perpetual victims and in their victimhood the same way that women do. A genuine question, what safe space have women created for each other other than bashing each other, critiquing each other, sleeping with each other's boyfriends, talking shit about each other behind each other's backs? It's a perpetual cycle of being like this mean girl. But not only that, y'all will preach fucking sisterhood until you're blue in the face while you gaslight each other, manipulate men, and call it women empowerment. So is that what you consider a safe space, womanhood, a great group of friends? It's fucking fake. And the only reason that you guys use each other is to validate each other's feelings, because the moment that a woman doesn't validate another woman, y'all are not friends anymore. Men don't need to walk up to their friends and feel validated and in the right for things that are going on because they're solution-based human beings. Men don't need this village behind them that basically perpetuates a toxic cycle and keeps them in their victimhood the same way that women do. Most women don't actually care about men's mental health. It's about being validated in a sensitive way that is selfishly driven to be in their victimhood, and it actually has nothing to do with giving a fuck about men or men's mental health. Okay, bye.
Damn. she called him out. She said it. She said it, and I'm like, damn. The way she painted women was like, fucking savages. You dismantle each other from the inside out for no reason. You're like an actual virus to the social dynamic of friendships. It seems like, why are you like this? What are you doing? Just be friends, and I think what she was touching on is the level of validation that, and I don't know what women friendship dynamics are like, but to me, this is only like the 700th time I've heard women dynamic being described this way, and I'm like, that's crazy. That sounds so uncomfortable to have to live in. When it's like, I don't know, when I'm with my friends or hanging out with my friends, we're doing exactly that. Like, there's no like underlying goal or game or whatever, and we're just chilling. So that sucks.
I actually agree with her, but I'm being sarcastic and being a smartass. Yes, men should create a safe space and shit for them talkings. Yeah, it's called the manosphere. It's called RP content. It's called MGTOW. All the shit and that y'all shit on men for once again. And then you want to know what happened? Guess what happened, ladies? Women wanted to come into the space. And you want to know why? Because y'all didn't like what the fuck y'all was hearing. Meanwhile, men have had to hear what the fuck y'all had to say about men for decades. Y'all got a little pushback the last 5-10 years and y'all in a fucking uproar. Girl, bye.
June is Men's Health Month and Men's Mental Health Month. So I want to start it off by asking a question. Why are men always number two? Why, when we speak about men's issues, is it men are victims too? Men need support too. Kids need dads too. Good men exist too.
I don't get what
two. It's always the afterthought that men have struggles in this world. It's always an addition to what the world deems the real problem, which is the struggles of women. So why, I ask you, are we always putting men number two?
Oh,
when we so easily
that's
do
an
that,
interesting take. I never thought about it that way. Why are men treated as an afterthought to women's needs when we should be on the same level? I think, right? Like, what women feel and struggle with are just as important as what men feel and struggle with, because they're so uniquely different that they are both level 100 respectively, right? One is fucking nuclear, the other one is cosmic, but they're both just as dangerous. And I don't even know if there's really even a difference between those two things, and that's kind of the point. They're both dangerous if not checked or balanced, and we shouldn't be treating it as if it is some type of afterthought to where it's like, yeah, they need that too, but women need this more. When it's like, no, we all need this just as much, because without it, we run into so many issues and problems.
how can we not realize?
But we're just talking about
have
utopia at
struggles
this point.
too. And there I did it. Also, secondary, not as important. But this month, men should be the focus. Men should be the number one. Because this
We should be getting sucked off every day this month, and the fact that we aren't is, to me, is the problem. Like, every day, it shouldn't even be our choice, right? Because we should be the priority, the focus. Every day, first thing out the gate, just a quick suck off, and then we're done. And then we go about the day. How many days are in this month? June? 30 days. A cheeky 30 days. Just, that's all we ask. Won't ask for anything else the rest of the year. Fuck the birthday. If you're lucky enough to have your birthday in June, then hey.
whole
Twice,
entire month
But
should be focusing on men's mental health and men's health. Let's talk about the reality of men and their mental health It's estimated that 1 in 10 American men experience depression or anxiety, but less than half
I
of
feel like
them
that's way
actually
bigger
seek
now.
mental health help, according to the National Mental Health Institute.
1 in 10,
Only
it feels way low.
36% of the mental health patients in America are men, according to Mental Health America. We didn't need a book or a magazine or a study to tell us. We know that men are less likely to seek mental health care in the United States due to societal norms, due to the fact that men are sometimes shamed, sometimes by their fellow men, but sometimes the women that surround them see them as weak. We know that men face economic struggles, and mental health care is out of reach for so many in our country. We also know that men are underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed in many of these situations because men sometimes don't even realize the problem exists within them until it's too late.
Facts.
We need to find a path forward in which, one, we normalize mental health care not just for men, but for everybody. We make mental health care economically feasible, and so it's not out of reach for so many. But even if we get therapy to the point where it's normalized and economically feasible, it's still not readily available. After hours clinics are minimal.
You know, this is the point when I'm like, hey, stop making a TikTok. Just make an actual video. Like, you're tricking. This is pissing me off about TikTok. When it's like, bro, this video doesn't need to be a TikTok. It doesn't need to be a vertical framed video. Just make an actual video, because you're making a lot of good points that should be heard. But, you know, what we also need to be encouraging is to get people off of this fucking TikTok ass, stupid ass app. Get people back onto shit to where they can focus on something that isn't on their phone, because their attention span is just not gonna. These are important things. Why is it on TikTok? You know, why is it on this device, on this page where people are here to just consume things and not take anything away from it?
Online availability is minimal, and so for those men that are traveling
Maybe this
and
isn't on
working
TikTok.
long
I don't
hours,
know. I'm assuming
don't have the
it could be
time
on
to
Instagram. But even then, why put it on a platform where it's only temporary information?
put it into their schedule. And for those that have the time, a lot of times it's 3, 6, 9 months, a year before they can even get an appointment. And in that year, lives are lost. We need to find a path forward where, as a country, we prioritize mental health, and particularly mental health for men.
June isn't Pride Month. June is Men's Mental Health Month. 600,000 men a year, 58,000 men a month, 14,000 men a week, 2,000 men a day, 86 men an hour, and almost 2 men every minute take their own life due to their mental health.
I was actually gonna keep going through the clips, but after seeing those stats, I had to stop.
It's a lot.
I honestly, you guys, I had no idea the numbers were that high.
It's very high.
600,000.
It's a very high number, and I don't think most men understand that that's how high the number is. This is what scares me, is that if I remember looking at the data and shit like that for COVID and things like that, like, and it's not like the numbers are amazing back then, but they are getting worse now for both men and women. And the reality is, there's so many people who aren't affected by it, to where it's like they don't even realize how susceptible how susceptible they are to it, if not their younger siblings, if not their friends. And that's the scary thing, is like, it may not be happening to you, you know, and you may not have ever felt like this or felt these things, but there is such a strong chance that there is someone that you know who has, or who is, you know, because it is a really big number. 600,000 people is more people in the city in the city I live, right? Men and women included. And so to me, that just puts it in their perspective that, like, the way the world is in this day and age, coupled with this, means that it is important to not just check in, but I think as an individual to, like, be able to. It's that much more important to have that level, to have a level of perseverance or adversity, or overcoming adversity, because that's a big ass number, which means it's like there's so many people who are, to get to the level of suicide, in my opinion, right? Like, you have to have all these other things happen first. You have to have all these other lower levels of depression, of sadness, of hopelessness, which means if 600,000 men are killing themselves, that means there's an even bigger amount of men who are on that path to getting to that moment of like, I don't want to be here. You know, which means there's an overwhelming amount of men who are feeling sad, depressed, hopeless, like they can't go to places, like they can't talk to someone, and then they're just going further down that path to eventually, you know, self-harm, which is terrible. And so I think that's what's alarming, is that if there's 600,000 men who are self-harming, that means there's at least 1 million or so men who feel like that. And how do you combat that? I don't know. The reality is, like, we used to have video games and spaces like that where even if the behavior was a little immature or whatever, these were the spaces for boys at least, to get together and engage in some type of healthy conversation at some point or another. But now, with the way content is, with the way the world works, is you don't get that type of interaction with people anymore. So it's a scary thing. You pretty much get a potential of a bunch of these kids from the fucking adolescence TV show, where they don't even realize that all these factors are weighing in on their mental health, and it's going to only get worse on them if they don't have the community around them that is aware of this type of stuff and helps prevent it, helps have systems and resources, and a lot of communities don't, right? Or even worse, the problem is, like, you could have those resources while you're in school, whether it's elementary school, middle school, college, high school. But it's like once you're out of those institutions, right, and you're just in the world, finding those resources as an adult is even more challenging, because, like she said, with the healthcare, or even just the freedom or the availability, because the economy is so shit. So now everybody is either not getting jobs that they wanted or hope to have, but now they're having jobs where they gotta work maybe 1 or 2 jobs or 3 jobs to afford the increase in economy that's just fucking ridiculous. So now it's like they don't even have the money or the time to go and deal with their mental health. And then, you know, so it's like all these compounding factors, which I think is terrifying, especially when it comes to men who are often led to believe success is the key to happiness. So when they are not able to be successful, and then they aren't able to fulfill those things or even be on the path to be successful, it's like it only makes their mental health worse. And then if they aren't aware of ways to remedy that, then they're fucked. So this shit is crazy. Men's mental health month is no fucking joke, dude. 600,000 people, 600,000 men is absolutely disrespectful.
1,000 a year? Are you kidding me? So you mean to tell me over 500,000 men are unaliving themselves a year? Look, I'm gonna say this, man. I know the feeling. I really do. I know what it's like. I'm letting you know right now. If I would have been successful in going through with that, I wouldn't be standing here in front of you now, traveling the world, being in Thailand right now.
You in Thailand right now?
I'm telling you guys, man. And I'm talking years ago when I felt this way. Because years ago, I never would have thought I'd be in a place where I'm at now. I'm like, and that's the reason why I care so much.
Tomorrow is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Let me touch on that, because now we're talking more serious about suicide and things like that. And I think, I don't know, I can't say for sure if everybody has these thoughts or has had that moment or that feeling. And, you know, when I think back on it, I'm like, I don't know if I would ever be someone that could do such a thing, just because of the things that I've been through, to where it was like moments where it was genuinely like terrible emotions or terrible feelings of loss or hopelessness of whatever. But then it's like the crazy thing to me that always draws it back is, you know what you're doing right now? This is a memory, as in this happened and you survived it. You're past that point now. You're no longer in that moment. You're actually in a better position than you were before. So what does that tell you? That means despite whatever was going on in that moment, you overcame it, and now you're still here to continue existing. And so to me, it's always a thought of like, no matter how terrible I feel or low I can get, I'm like, I know there will be a point, there will be a day where I won't feel like this, and I will be grateful that I made the decision to not do that thing, you know? And I think like it's so hard to be able to have that, especially if you're in very critical situations, to be like, things will get better, to be like, to be able to be lucky enough to look back and be like, 10 years ago, I was not, if I was talking to the version of me that was here 10 years ago, I think that person would be very happy and grateful for the person that I am now and the things that I have now and the things that I've accomplished now, even if I'm not, you know, because 10 years ago, I would have never been able to do those things, or I would have never been able to see myself doing X, Y, and Z. So, you know, it's one of the things that I think is important to be able to have, and I feel grateful to be able to hold on to, is that no matter what happens, you know, I can look back on previous dire situations or previous moments of feeling at the lowest points and remembering like, you made it past that. Like, you can make it past this. If you made it past that, you can make it past this. And if you can make it past this, then you can make it past whatever comes after that. You know, because if you think this is as bad as it gets, then then get through it, because everything else will be cake after that, you know? And so that, to me, that's what helps. If I ever get into those spaces, it's like, you've been through what you've considered to be worse than this, so you can't let this be the thing that stops you. And so, yeah, you know, so the perception of what you're going through, I think, helps. Getting help from outside sources is great. But the real work is within yourself. You have to believe that you can overcome these things. You have to believe that you deserve more, that you can have more, that you can be whatever it is that you're chasing, you know? So, and it's hard to do that. It is hard to do that. It's not always easy. It's not always, you don't always get that feeling back, but having the awareness to have the thoughts, I think is something that has a huge difference.
But let's be real, most people won't even mention it. Either they don't know about it, or if they do, they don't think it's important enough to talk about. And that silence is the reason why we lose so many good men. We live in a world that teaches men to bottle up pain and bleed in private, to suffer with a straight face, to man up instead of speak up. You know who makes fun of and mocks men for opening up? Unhealed men. Men who were taught that emotions make you weak. When the truth is, hiding your emotions is the exact reason why it's breaking you. Brothers, we don't need more stoic silence. We need safe spaces. We need each other. So this June, I'm not going quiet. I'm not backing down. I'm not sugarcoating what us men go through, because we lose way too many men to battles that they were way too afraid to speak about. So tag a brother, check a friend. And if no one ever told you this, it's okay to not be okay and still be a man.
You know, the one thing you got to understand about men is most men are depressed because since birth, since you were born.
Now, what I think is important to even point, I mean, well, maybe it's because this is a black man's channel, but I was like, he is using a lot of black men talking about these issues, which I think is significant, right? I think, yeah, it's All Men's Mental Health Month, but it is significantly important for black men to see these things being said by other black men, especially by other black men under 30 or 40, right? Because the most susceptible, the most vulnerable people are young black men, because they have the mentality of what they think masculinity is, what they think all this bullshit is, and it affects their ability to actually be honest about what they're feeling. So I think it is important that you see young black men
value is
saying
depicted on what you can bring to the table, and that's your expectation from when you know what I mean, you're born until you get older. Your value is already set. Like, you have to become something. If you don't become something, it's like your value is less. you're depicted as a worthless man if you don't have something to bring to the table, or you don't know yourself at some point, or you don't really know what you like, or you don't even know how to find yourself and what you can do in life. If you don't know what you want to do, you're considered a worthless man. If you don't have your shit together, you're considered a worthless man. And a lot of men, they fall into depression because the expectation of how it is of being a man. If you don't have your shit figured out, if you can't provide, if you can't figure some shit out in life, if you don't have yourself together at a certain point, at a certain age, it's like you're depicted as a worthless man. You know what I mean? Even if you got a good personality, even if you're a good person, if you don't have your shit together, if materialistic wise, if just in general, if you don't have your shit together, you're depicted as a worthless man. I'm telling you. And a lot of men fall into depression because of that. A lot of men, you know what I mean, they feel like they're worthless because of that. You know what I mean? Because it's hard nowadays in life. So you're expected automatically to have this shit figured out and figure out this life shit. You know what I mean? And it becomes difficult and it becomes very depressing when you feel like a worthless man.
Hey, what's up, everyone? So wanted to
I'm gonna just let these guys run off. I don't really have much to add. I think they are saying pretty solid things. And mainly because I do got to end stream very soon, so I can go catch this bus to get my haircut. So I don't want to like take up too much time because I want to get through the full video. So we got like 10 minutes.
And talk a little bit about men's mental health. It is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and in the same light as the
trying to find a good haircut too. I'm trying to see if I want to
dudes.
Let's take a little off the top.
I wanted to, basically bring awareness to it being Men's Mental Health Awareness Month also. We've got Father's Day coming up June 12th. And, with the new trend going around of dads supporting dads, I think it's really important also to call out Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. A lot of guys, a lot of dads, they stay silent. They stay silent. They suffer in silence. They don't talk. They wake up every morning and they say the classic, "I'm fine."
Yep.
And I think that's just hardwired into guys. That's just how we are. However, I also believe that we are in the middle of a mental health catastrophe, the largest in human history, in my opinion. But that's another story. That's another video.
I think what happened is, here's what I think what it was. It's the same thing that's happening in the school system. It's the same thing that's pretty much happening throughout all of society, is that we've become so diluted in certain cultural things that we've begun to misunderstand why we did those cultural things. And so to me, the thing is, when you think about the blue collar worker or whatever, they wake up 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever. They get to their job, right? It's cold. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be lifting shit, whatever the job is. There's no room to really complain or be like, I'm tired, or be like, my hands hurt, my back hurts, whatever, because you're not the only one doing this shit. It's all of us that are doing the exact same job, right? It's like these industrial level jobs where the mentality is like, there's no point in being like, in speaking on how you feel when everybody else feels the exact same way. But we got to get this job done. We got to push through. You got to put food on the table type shit. That mentality has been diluted so much now to where it's like, it's not even a sense of like, well, it's not even a sense that, yeah, we're all going through this, but we're going through this for a reason. It's a sense of, yeah, we're all going through this. So I'm just going to keep it to myself because no one cares. Right? When that was never the case. It's not that men never cared about the problems and the issues that we were going through. I think that we've just become misunderstood that those men, at the end of the day, they still went out to the bar and had a drink and talked about these issues. They still got together and talked about their problems. They still got together and shared wisdom amongst each other, whether it was men among the same age or men of varying ages. Right, and they still had a good time. They still released those stresses out. And nowadays, men don't even have the opportunity to really do that, because most people are confined to their small groups. But the problem is, when people from your small group start to disperse and have to move out, move away, go and do things, are you going to be willing to diverge into a new community and and share all that baggage on top of trying to develop new relationships that may come with different levels of baggage. And you may be a different person now to where you may not want to have to deal with certain levels of shit, you know? So it's, to me, the problem with men's mental health is that we've diverged from what the modern man looks like, so much so that it's difficult to be able to relate to each other, and or to feel like we can relate to each other. But the reality is we always still can. No matter if you're a fucking streamer or a goddamn office worker, you two can still relate and have a conversation with each other. You two can still understand the pressures or the issues or the desire to make enough money, right? So I think that's where the problem is. Like, we all feel like we can't relate to each other either because of age or position or race or whatever, when it's like, nah, it's still the same struggle. It's a different day, but it's still the same struggle. So I know you're saying you're fine, but you and I both know that you're not. So, you know, speak on it. I'm not going to look at you any less for it at that point. But we also live in a world where speaking on it may not also solve any of the issues that you have, is what we believe. But I think it does. I think it helps. And we need to be encouraged to do that, because even if me saying it doesn't magically solve that problem, it solves the internal struggle you have of not getting it out. So, no.
But anyway, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Let's raise awareness to that. Okay, let's support guys. Let's support dads. Let's support men, and bring awareness to it. All right. So alongside of dads supporting dads and dudes supporting dudes, please share this also. You know, help this video get out there. Hit all the buttons, reshare, add it to favorites, like it, comment.
Comment, subscribe.
But let's help each other out. Let's help the men out. Let's help the dads out.
Yes, sir.
And really bring awareness.
Everybody get on Baldur's Gate. Get into a party. Let's do this shit, dog. Like, let's just chill. Let's just have some fun. Let's just let loose, roll some dice, you know, cast a spell or two, talk to some rats, some squirrels, make some deals, you know, like get goofy with it at the end of the day, because it is Men's Mental Health Month. And so personally, I've been really trying to like look at that and determine what that means for me, because I know that, like, based on the conditions of my life, what is it I'm able to do that's going to help make me feel like I can relax or feel like I am taking care of myself. And I'm like, you know, you do a lot of writing, you do a lot of studying, you do a lot of like research and shit like that. Like, maybe this month, let's ease back a little bit, you know, just a little bit. Like, let us have at least a day or two throughout the week where we do just game, you know, not because we don't have anything better to do, but because I think it'll be good for you to try to do that. Like, me and some of my coworkers were talking about this, where it was like when we're playing video games, it's like we have this level of fatigue now that we didn't used to have back like some years ago, where it's like I can play 1 or 2 rounds of a game and then it's like, all right, I'm done. You know, where it's like something in the brain is like, I don't either feel like playing anymore, or I'm just tired, or I'm just not interested. But I'm trying to like combat that, because I'm like, I know I like playing video games and shit like that. So whatever that fatigue is something in my mind that's trying to get me to keep working, because it somehow feels like I'm not being productive, when it's like, this is the productive part. This is you relaxing. This is you chilling. This is you having fun, right? And we're all been so ingrained to just be working or only being able to have a limited time of fun, when it's like, nah, dude, like, play the game, enjoy it. This is what you worked hard to get, so enjoy using it. And don't feel like you need to stop and go and work on something, because you will work on shit when you're on the clock. So to me, that's really what some of the important aspects of it was. Is like, yes, really engage with that part of your enjoyment. Enjoy the game. Don't think about whether or not you are only going to play for like a couple matches or a few hours or spend the whole day. I don't give a fuck. This is the month where you are allowed to just kind of do that at some point, so that way your brain can remember what it's like to not think about anything anything else other than just kind of entertainment. And it's been nice. It's been nice and it's been helpful. So I think men should be looking for that stuff in everything that they do.
Especially the fathers, because Father's Day is coming up.
I got.
I'm like, my dad.
Hopefully, we'll finish this video. I still
away,
got only a few more minutes.
Last year, his birthday is actually coming up as well.
Let me see how much time we got. 7. We got 6 minutes. All right, I can do this in 6 minutes.
Yeah. Especially after covering that video a couple days ago about the stepfather. Yeah, I can only imagine what his mental health is like right now after dealing with that situation. If you know what I'm talking about, or excuse me, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Jay, just go back a couple days, man, and you'll see about the stepfather in the thumbnail. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't know what it is.
The happiest dude in the room, ask him how he's doing, for real. A lot of people don't ask me because to the point that I'm always happy, I'm laughing, I'm always brightening everyone else's day. His day must be fine because he's brightening everybody else's life. I would say that's not a fact. That person that brightens other people's lives, they're just good at brightening people's day. And they still have issues.
I'd rather carry the weight of your tears on my shoulders than carry the weight of your casket, bro. Happy Men's Mental Health Month, my guy. You know, being a man doesn't just mean shut up and work. It doesn't mean you gotta be bulletproof. It doesn't mean you never get to speak. Being a man means you get to be a light for other people. It means you get to guide the way. But it doesn't mean you have to do it alone. I'm here for you, bro. All I want you to do is just talk to me. Because I don't want to live the rest of my days knowing I could have prevented it when I didn't. You're allowed to be human, bro. You don't have to live with this constant pressure on you to make everybody else happy. What do you want deep down, my man?
His arms are way too big. This is crazy. I feel what he's saying, but his arms are fucking huge, dude. This is crazy.
If you feel pain, I feel pain. If you cry, I cry. If you're sad, I'm sad. If you're mad, I'm mad. We are one, bro. You're my brother. You're my family. And it kills me to see my family hurt. Happy Men's Mental Health Month, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I love you. And peace.
Peace.
Happy Men's Mental Health Awareness.
What you got the tape on?
It's not worth it. A little over a year ago, exactly in this location, in my car, those are the words I thought about.
Oof.
I didn't think tomorrow was worth it. 1.6 million men attempt suicide every year, and we will never know the amount of men that have thought about it.
We will never know.
It's okay to not be okay and still be a man.
Yes, sir.
I sat in my car a little over a year ago for hours contemplating whether or not I should make it to tomorrow. But what I ended up doing was calling a friend, and he was willing to listen. That was one of the hardest things I ever had to do in my entire life, was to let somebody in and let them know that I wasn't okay. But I was still a man. So I shared this story to let you know. I know it might be hard, and I know it might be difficult, but give somebody a chance to listen to your story, because you'd be surprised as to who's willing to listen. Because if you open yourself up to the world will open itself up to you. So take a chance. And I know you might not see a way through, but you always have your next step. So please just take that and be kind to yourself if the only thing you did today was survive. You're not alone. I'm here with you. I've fought those battles too. So let me be an example of what it looks like in front of that mountain that you're facing. Keep going, and you will be grateful for it.
You're gonna want to meet future you at the end of the day, right? You're going to want to see the version of you that you feel like you can't be. And to me, that's what I always think about. Like, I think there was a time where I was really going through some dark stuff, and one of the things, like, I was just walking down the street, and I almost felt like I just wasn't going to be able to keep walking. And, you know, I was just in this bad place. And then something in my mind, I was like, you know, take a moment, like when you're walking, you may be alone on this walk. You may not feel like you have anybody that can understand what you're going through. That's fine. I'm not going to try and take that away from you. Instead, imagine the people walking next to you are the future and past versions of you. Because that's what's reality, is that what you're carrying is your past mistakes, your past choices, your past successes, whatever. that younger version of you, that teenage version of you, that child, that baby, every part of you is walking with you all the time. Expect even the parts of you, the potential, the future, the version of you, the versions of you that you want to become. They're always walking with you. And at the end of the day, you need to walk with a level of pride because they're with you at the end of the day. The person that you want to be is already inside of who you are right now. You just have to be willing to walk with them. So it's like sometimes if you're walking with your head down and shit, it's like sometimes you got to tell yourself, lift your head up. There's no reason for you to be looking down. You want to be able to see what's in front of you. You want to see the path that you're walking on ahead of you, not below you. You know, there's no reason to look down. Look up. Look at what's in front of you. Look at what's happening in front of you, because everything that's happening in front of you is the future. It is the past. It is the now. It's everything. Carry yourself like you would if you were in a better place, because that person that you think you want to be, in order to get there, they have to overcome this moment. So overcome it, and you will already be one step closer to being that future that you think you can achieve. When the person that you envision in your mind had to have gone through all this bad stuff in order to even be that person, that person doesn't just happen. They come from who you are right now. So, you know, these are things that I think about sometimes when I'm stressed or like just not feeling capable of certain things. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I want to be able to be that person in my mind that I know I can be. And in order to do that, I have to get through this moment. I have to be stronger in this moment, you know, and handle what I need to. So, yeah.
Happy Men's Mental Health
We're at the
Awareness,
end of this video,
you guys, and shout out to the ladies that support the men in their mental health. And I just want to let you guys know that I see you guys putting the work in. I've had several, dozens even, men reach out to me with their stories.
I gotta subscribe.
How they're working on themselves, building their own businesses, working multiple jobs, doing whatever they got to do to get ahead. Just keeping their head down and grinding and working on themselves. I see y'all putting the work in, man, and just know that, you know what I mean, you are not unheard, you are not unseen. And keep doing what you're doing, bro. For real. I'm like, I promise you, bro. Like, it's gonna be worth it in the end, bro. Like homie said, bro. I'd rather be, you know what I mean, I would not want to be carrying nobody's casket, bro. And I don't, you know, I done had recently a brother who reached out to me, because somebody who watches the channel closely, he recently had a health issue, but Rome, if you're watching this, shout out to you, brother, man. Hope you continuing to get better. So yeah, man, I try, you know, I'm spread pretty thin, you guys, because as you guys know, I'm reaching 100K, but you know, I mean, I try to do my best to try to keep in contact with as many people as I can that have been watching the channel for a very long time. So that's it. Again, man, happy Men's Mental Health Awareness, you guys. And again, shout out to the ladies that support us, man. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know what I'm uploading. Hit the like button because it helps with the algorithm.
All right. Now we're done. I gotta end here because I gotta go catch this bus. So anyway, that was dope. I'm really glad that we looked at that. I feel like we took away some very important information, and yeah, it's men's mental health. So let's check in with the boys, see how everybody's doing, you know, and for real, make sure that they know that they're doing well, not just that they're saying it. So yeah, peace.